without naming names, or as little as possible, I want to break down the position I'm in right now. And it's exactly like a chess game. You know, when you get to checkmate, and it's not so much that that piece can't move at all, it's that the king, when I said that piece, I mean the king on the opposing team, it's that the king can't make any, well, even if they do make a move, they'll get caught. So it's basically, you know, playing out the prisoner's dilemma. Chess is. And so that's what I'm doing right now, is that when you collect a certain amount of evidence about people's BS, let's say, because that's sort of what a criminal is telling everyone so that they can do other stuff. And it's anything. They just need to convince people of something so that they're allowed to be there and extort or do whatever they're doing. Because, right, nobody wants to hang out with someone who's only concerned about getting something for themselves. And if you knew the truth about criminals, you wouldn't want them around. That's what they're aware of to whatever degree, and that's why they lie. It might come from low self-esteem or a feeling of inadequacy. It's like in the Asian culture, you're not even really allowed to have low self-esteem. You have to, because even if it's not about you, it's about your family name. And if your immediate family are a bunch of chumps, then it's still about the name, because at some point it mattered. That's why it became a name. Your enemy may be flailing and trying to move around. The point is that whatever they do, they're going to get caught. I love chess because it really eases my mind. Because those pieces they're not humans, you know? You're just watching the pieces go around the board. And it's basically how people move. And right, there's no words. So there's no offenses or insults or any of that. It's just black and white, you know? And it literally is. So I find the game fascinating, and I'm just so glad I finally learned how to play it. It's really one of my favorite leisure activities now. Finally, I just wanted to say that the reason why chess is so relevant is because pretty much everything in our reality is either black or white, if you consider resonance and harmony. So, for instance, I'm speaking right now. I'm speaking language. And aren't I tuned to a certain degree? Like, isn't language and alphabet sort of something like a song? And you know how you have to learn the notes to a song? At various times, something's either a high note or a low note, or, you know, visible or not visible, or past or present, or whatever it happens to be. And based on your position, in reference to other pieces, if we're talking about chess, but based on your position and the position of others, that determines how you're going to act, advance. And so that's why chess is so much about advancement. And yes, I was already saying that it's important to check your references because we are in a postmodernist age. That's not just some criticism, it's a reality. And so yes, to make that simple, everything's been done before. You need to go ahead and figure out where your ideas came from. which also helps a great deal when it comes to deprogramming yourself from mind control or things like that. And that's something else that people need to do. Because, it's just so, I don't get frustrated for too long over these things anymore because it's my job not to. But I wish these people realized like how much more they would accomplish in life if they would get rid of this limited thinking of theirs. And yeah, half of their life is lived in shadows, which of course half of your life should be lived in shadows, like when you're naked or when you're making love, but you shouldn't be halfway in the shadows all the time, especially if you're claiming to be a public person. And so movies, basically the same standards, that's something else for me. It's like the same standards that we have for journalism are going to be held to movies now because of terrorism, for instance. It's just the way it's got to be, And I'm sure that, Netanyahu would agree with his story of the boy Ali. Whatever reason people wouldn't agree with me. Because some people think I'm alt-left or something. And the alt-left is now another name for pro-Palestinian. And I can't say that I'm pro-Palestinian. I don't want people fighting at all. It's just not good business. So, it's not good for kids, That's definitely apparent. And then, right, nobody can thrive in that sort of economy. And I wouldn't say terrorists are thriving either. If your money is causing you to create more terrorism, then it doesn't really have the effect money should have. That sounds like a detriment. And I can make the point over and over, just that, it's just a mess, killing people. So, I hope we can wake up soon enough.